Hey there everyone, and welcome back to a brand new indie devlog. I hope you all have had an amazing week, and I have some pretty cool changes that I'm going to be showing you guys in today's video. But before we get into that, I want to thank you all so much for the support on the channel. We're at 232 subscribers, which is absolutely insane because I realized that like 6 days ago I thanked you for 200 exactly, and we're already at 230. I just want to say a massive thank you to the game development community as a whole, because everyone I have met since I started this channel is so nice, and I have the utmost love for everyone that makes devlogs. So keep it up, guys. I love you all. Now, getting back to the game, one of the big changes I made over the past week is that I decided to rework the AI for the enemies in the game. Now, a lot of you don't actually know, but before I started spending a considerable amount of time working on the game, I actually worked on it with someone else from America, but unfortunately about 2 months into the development of the game, he had to leave due to personal circumstances, which left me working on it by myself. And the reason I'm telling you this is because when he did work on the game, he actually did the AI for the enemies with some pretty hardcore math that I don't actually understand. Now, with this being an issue, I obviously have to redo the AI, so I got brave and I decided to tackle it this week. Now, with reworking it, I had to set up 3 states that the enemy was going to be in, one where it had to sit idle, one where it had to chase the player, and the final one being where it had to attack the player. Now, this was actually really easy to do because I basically just put a script execute and set up a variable which tracks all 3 of the scripts in the step event, so it runs the variable every single frame, basically just checking what state it is currently set to. Now, with this being completely worked and done, I also decided to work on a sight range, which I implemented to the zombie as well. So basically the way the sight range actually works is that when the player is in a close vicinity of the zombie, it triggers and the zombie runs towards the player, but if the player is at a distance to the zombie and shoots it, it actually increases the sight range to a size where the player can't escape unless they run out of the view of the zombie, which is just about the size of the game window, so you have to be able to see the zombie to be in the sight range. Now, I thought this was a really nice thing to add into the game, so you can't just sit across the map and fire random bullets into the distance and accidentally hit a zombie. So to tackle this as well, I also made it that if a bullet goes out of the view range of the player, it also destroys it, because before I had it set up where if it went outside the room it would destroy the bullet, but I found that I was able to hit the zombie all the way across the map without even being able to see it. So the next thing I added in this week was room transitions. So what I mean by room transitions is basically when you move between the controls menu to the main menu or the main menu to the controls menu. And what I added in I added in a fade, so it basically fades out the screen black when you go into the room, and then it fades in from black and slowly deletes the image alpha until it hits 0, which creates a really nice and smooth transition between the rooms instead of choppy and a kind of instant load when you click the buttons, which is what I had before. Now, this is quite a basic change, but I think it just adds a more cleaner professional look in the main menu instead of it just instantly swapping screens when you press a button. Now, as I'm speaking of the main menu, I'm sure you can notice the main menu options have changed. You can see now that there's a story mode and there's also an adventure mode. Now, the story mode is basically just going to be like any campaign of a normal game, and the adventure will be basically where if you complete the story mode, you can do the adventure mode and go around the map fighting mobs with a higher difficulty, and they will also drop higher tier loot, so you can basically gear up your character and become really powerful and do high tier mobs. Now, I decided to make this change at the start of the week so it could open up more options to players that like to play late game instead of just playing a linear campaign where all you do is go through it, maybe change the difficulty, and then play the campaign again. So I thought I would add in an adventure mode which adds new options for other players to play. Now, to add to my previous point, the game is basically going to follow down a similar route to Diablo 3 or any other game where you have to spend a considerable amount of time farming mobs to get a higher gear, so you can bump up the difficulty and basically push yourself to the highest level you can. Now, the reason I've decided to do this is personally I'm a fan of the playstyle of Diablo 3 and other games similar to it, and I have also never seen this type of post-apocalyptic game in the same farming genre as Diablo. Now, with this, it opens up more routes to add in weapons and other things that the player can find around the map to be able to create their perfect build for taking on stronger mobs. Now, I have taken into consideration the amount of work I'm going to have to do to be able to pull this off, but I'm staying optimistic in working on the game and reaching this goal. As for the story mode of the game, I'd like you guys to comment down below how you think I should approach it. I'm thinking that a linear story maybe isn't the best idea, as it is very generic and doesn't provide a new experience for players from other games. I'd potentially like it to be a little bit more refreshing and not so similar to other games that people don't want to play it, and if they see the trailer they just get off put by it or anything like that. Now that's all the updates for this week. I know I haven't done a huge amount, but I plan to do a lot more over the upcoming months as I'll be finishing the school and I have a lot more time to work on the game. If you guys do want to play the most recent test build of the game, feel free to go and support my Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and that will give you access to the most recent public build of the game. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.